As of today, I am currently in $94,609.58 of debt. Yes, I know that's a lot of debt. Here's how it's kind of broken down. I owe about $81,000 for student loans, about $8,000 left on my truck loan, and then I have about $5,000 of credit card debt. I am really starting to get tired of having this kind of looming over me. It doesn't help me sleep at night, so I decided to start a series on paying off the debt, and I want you guys to come with me. So here's kind of my plan to pay it off. I think number one, and most importantly, I'm going to make an effort every day to pay it off. That's kind of step number one. Step two, is a side hustle called couch flipping. I've been doing it for about 4 years now. It's good money. It's just kind of inconsistent. It just involves flipping furniture. And then besides that, I'm going to use these apps to make some money when, I'm not flipping couches. The way I'm going to break this down, I do have my 9-to-5 job that covers my living expenses. Thank goodness. But with the extra money, I'm going to do a couple things with it. I'm going to split it half and half. Half of it is going to go towards my savings for a new car and just general stuff that I want. I think it's important to kind of stay motivated that way. And then the other half is obviously going to go towards paying down debt. I'm going to pay it off smallest to biggest, kind of. The first debt I have is an Apple Card. I have about $1,500 debt on that. I'm going to try to wipe that off really quickly. The other rest of the credit card debt is all on a 0% interest card. So I'm going to hold on to that for just a little bit longer. And then I am going to, put the rest on my truck and my student loans. For anyone that's curious, my student loans are at an 8.375% interest rate and my truck is at a 6.14% interest rate. So yeah, that's me. Stay tuned. I'm going to post an update later today when I actually start going out and doing DoorDash and Uber Eats and stuff, and we'll try to find a couch to flip to hopefully get some of this paid off.
I owe approximately $145,000 of student loan debt. Can I even afford my minimum monthly payments? Let's find out. I have 3 types of student loans. I have 2 federal student loans and 1 private student loan. For my federal loans, my first one has a monthly payment of $399.37 a month. The second loan is $693.93 a month. And for my private student loan, my monthly payment is $642.33. In total, I owe monthly my minimum payment of $1,735.63. That is a crazy amount of money. Do I even make enough money to afford this? For my average, I'm averaging my take home. This isn't my gross income. So this is the average I make approximately per month for my take home. I do have 3 jobs. I have a full-time job and I'm a home infusion nurse, and I also work as a per diem hospice nurse, and I also make additional money on TikTok. So in total, I make approximately an average take home of $8,180.66. So my student loans is about 21% of my monthly payments, and this also does not take into account like my monthly mortgage, other like monthly payments that I have for bills and utilities and all of that stuff.
I'm gonna do another student loan payment of $30 today. We're doing $30 today for my loan preview, and we are going to submit that payment. Girl, we did it. Another $30 payment. I try to pay at least $30 a day, around $7.99 per month, $800. And so by doing $30 each day for 31 days, it's $930. So I'm paying over the required amount. So if you have a lot of credit card debt or even student loan debt, it's so much easier to pay it off in bite size every single day rather than paying such a huge amount monthly. We are being financially responsible. Woo.
What I'm learning here is the student loan crisis is far worse than what I thought. Having to pay on a student loan every single day is mind-boggling to me. Every day. You have a bill every day. Wow. I didn't know people had this much debt. Like, what were y'all going to school for? To be an astronaut? My goodness. Where did we go wrong, America? Where did we go wrong? What have you guys gotten out of this? How much are you making? What type of salary do you have? What career did you think you were going to get?
Day 1 of trying to use TikTok to pay off $75,000 of debt. If you know me, goodbye. If not, welcome to my secret TikTok page. I am 24 years old. I graduated college in 2023. I am still pursuing a certificate right now and hopefully going to medical school. So I have accumulated a lot of debt through student loans and other expenses. I have roughly $75,000 of debt to my name. I am actually moving back in with my parents in about a month to try to save on that front, which, I don't know, I kind of find it humbling moving back in with your parents at 24, but I mean, the economy does suck, so. Anyways, I guess the point of this is, I mean, maybe make money off here. If not, maybe try to connect with other people who are in very similar situations, whether you're a student in debt or like, I don't know, just anybody in debt. Let me know some of the ways you guys are trying to earn money to pay this off, because in today's world it's so hard. So yeah, that's my story. If you're watching this and you have any tips that could help me, I would greatly appreciate if you could drop a comment below, and thank you.
I have $200,000 worth of student debt and I'm pretty ashamed of it. But here's the real tragedy. I got a full scholarship to college. My student debt came from graduate school and a certificate I earned after graduate school. If I'm being honest, I really regret it. I regret going to graduate school when I did, and I regret paying out of pocket for it myself. When I graduated from college, I was 21 years old, and I did the thing that I thought was best. I decided to go to graduate school because that's what most members of my family did. They went to graduate school, and so in following in many of their footsteps, I went to pursue my master's degree. Making this decision to go to graduate school, I listened to what some of my family members were talking about when it comes to earning potential. It was pretty much drilled into me that if I wanted my earning potential to match my white counterparts, that I would have to have a graduate degree. A graduate degree was simply not optional. As a Black woman without a backup plan, I thought that I was securing my financial future by investing in my education. When I say without a backup plan, what I specifically mean is I just couldn't move home with my parents. That was not an option available to me because of my circumstances. Some of the comments that I am seeing in response to the Biden-Harris loan forgiveness program have me shook, because I am just like, if you only knew. Yes, this program is going to get some people completely out of student loan debt. But for someone like me, this is just a start. Like I said, I have over $200K in student loans. So, and I'm eligible for $20,000, thank goodness. And so that's going to take me to about $180,000 still left to pay. Some of the comments that have been the hardest to read are the ones that say things like, well, it's your responsibility. You knew what you were signing up for. Yes, it is my responsibility, but I don't think I understood the magnitude of what I was signing up for. I was so focused on securing my financial future and creating stability in my life, and also trying to address the issues of pay inequity, that I made a pretty poor decision. Hindsight is truly 2020. When you know better, you do better. And if I had known better, I would not have taken out all of these student loans.
When I be on TikTok and I be seeing y'all talk about y'all are $100,000 in debt, I just be looking like, honey bun, where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong? Like, seriously, I seen this other girl on TikTok the other day talking about she was $200,000 in debt. 200,000. Wow, what? She said she had opened up like 13 credit cards. 13. I'm sitting over here trembling and scared to open up my second credit card. But 13. Ugh, what happened? Like, I need to know what happened. Like, I be needing the whole full story time as to what happened. What made you want to open up 13 credit cards? What made you want to keep on digging yourself into more debt? Like, I need to know, for real.
See, me, I've always been a numbers guy. I've thought about going to college. I never went. I remember at my old high school, they took us to an orientation, and I started to add the numbers up. I'm like, wait a minute. Each semester, it costs this amount. So that's this much per year. Now imagine going to a university that's like $45,000 per year. I'm like, wait a minute. If I go for 4 years, I'll be in the same boat as these people. Hundreds of thousands in debt. I saw it as means to an end. And I mean the end of my financial future. I'm like, I'd rather build my credit and take that same 100,000 and invest it into myself. And in that same time, I could probably have something going. That was my initial thought.
I'm not sure how relatable this is going to be for my viewer demographic, but I need to talk about the debt that I'm swimming and drowning in, and the anxiety that I have every day. Horrible anxiety because of it. Now, me personally, I am almost, I'd say about $200,000 in debt total, with all my student loans and credit card debt and just other debt. So, like, and I know I chose to go to NYU. I don't regret it at all. I loved living in New York City. I loved NYU. And we all knew I was crying about it like 2 years ago when I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be in debt after I graduate. But now that we have to like pay it back, I'm extremely alarmed and really scared and terrified. And like, obviously living in New York is really, really expensive. So I have a lot of credit cards that I'm pretty much maxed out on. So don't really have any credit that I can use, and my credit score sucks because of that and because of my loans. So that's really cool. Also, I just took literally like the first job I was offered after I graduated because I didn't have a job, and debt, credit cards, medical bills, and they're paying me literally the bare minimum. But I wanted to move back to New York City as soon as possible because I wanted to, like, what 24-year-old doesn't want to go back to living on their own? Like, I don't want to live with my parents, no offense. So I'm going to do that because I love New York City. So I know what you're thinking. Wow, you're really crazy because you're in that much debt and you're going to go move to the most expensive city in the world. Yes, I am. With that being said, more than half of my monthly income will be going towards my rent. So I have to get a second job to work in order to live in New York City. And still with that second job, I'm going to be struggling to pay my bills. And then how am I going to have fun? Like what, like going out to dinner one night cost me like $100. And don't even get me started on the medical bills because I keep getting these notices that I have to pay like $20 for an appointment I went to like 2 years ago. And then they're like, we're going to send you to collections. So that is fun. I also have a dentist appointment next week, and they're going to literally be like, you have 8 cavities. So looking forward to that bill as well. But yeah, like I really just want to cry and scream and throw up all day, every day. And I don't know if anyone can relate, but I'm going to be in debt for the rest of my life. So might as well live it up in New York City and go into more debt.
We're in $600,000 worth of debt at 27 years old, and me and my husband are planning on paying it all off while expecting a baby girl due in June of this year. So what we've been doing is paying at least $1 down a day, and today is day 25. And so far we've paid about $1,800 worth. Our loans are split up between 7 loans. We have 2 car loans and 5 mortgages. The 5 mortgages, what we've done is we've done owner financing for those. So what we do is we buy houses and then we sell them. And instead of selling them outright, so that means the people get a loan from the bank and then they pay us. What they do is they pay us over time, kind of like a rent to own situation. So it could be anywhere from 15 to 30 years that they owe us a rental payment until they are paid up. So we have 4 houses that are like that, and then this house, and then we have another house that we are renovating currently that we plan on just selling outright, no rent to own, nothing like that. But right now we're working on paying off my husband's truck because his interest rate is at a 6.3% interest, and it would be best to pay his truck off before we move on to anything else. So far we paid about $1,800, and today is day 25, so we're going to put $25 because I feel like a $5 mark is pretty good.
$600,000 worth of debt. Man, from the looks of it, they're never going to pay that off. Well, I don't know, family. Y'all do the calculations for me. How long will it take them to pay off that $600,000 worth of debt? I need y'all to do the math for me. 600K is just, I can't believe it. Oh yeah, I can't believe it. I never knew that so many Americans were so much behind. I didn't know that they had hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt, especially over $500,000. I know that's 2 people combined, but that's $250,000 each. Well, a little over. That's $300,000 each, just about, give or take.
I live on Mackinac Island and I owe $83,000 in student loans, and I take my partner's tips and pay off my student loans with them. At least that's what I did last year. This year, I'm not sure what we're going to do with the money. We haven't decided yet. So let's count my partner's tips and see what we're going to do with it. I really don't know. I think high yield savings account is our best option right now as we wait to decide. Why do I owe $83,000? It's only $83,000 because last year it was like $120,000. And then we paid down a ton of that. I pay the monthly payments because they are my loans, and then he gives me his tips. And he said, do what you want with them. So what did I want to do? Pay down my student loans. So here we are. It is the start of the tourist season. We both have our own jobs. He actually has 2 jobs. He's working his second job now that the tourist season has started as a carriage driver, doing tours and getting tips. Yesterday, he didn't do tours. He was on the shuttle from downtown, the boat docks, to Stone Cliff, which is about 2 miles inland towards the back of the island. It's a beautiful resort. And so he just shuttled all day. I think he put in like a 14-hour day total yesterday. So shuttles don't typically get really good tips because you're not really doing anything other than shuttling people and taking their luggage on and off and that type of stuff. I think you should always tip a driver. That is just my opinion as a person, and even more so as somebody who's married to one of those guys. So let's count his tips and see what we got. I always say anything over $200 in tips is a great tip day. I don't think this is going to be over 200 because there's only 120, but let's just see what we got and we'll go from there. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. I honestly didn't think we were going to break 100. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 120. I say, for a shuttle, that is a pretty good day. And it's not even like full on busy season yet. So $120 will go into our high yield savings account, and we'll see what we do with all that money in a few months. What should I do? A lot of you guys are mad that I'm paying off my student loans with it, but he's giving me his money. What am I supposed to do?
Hey, so this is probably the most vulnerable post I will have ever made in the history of time. And for those of you who this little blue halo is already triggering you, I'm so sorry. But I'm gonna hopefully make you feel better, and I'm honestly having a weekly crash out. I need help from you as well. This is how much money I owe in student debt for my physician assistant degree. And before you go ahead and take out the phrase that is so commonly used, oh, but you knew how much you were taking out in the beginning. No, a lot of this has to do with interest alone accruing, while I am in a hell of a limbo of what we like to call administrative forbearance, trying to get into the SAVE plan. So I worked with a student loan counselor after I graduated, and I was told to consolidate all of my Direct Plus grad student loans to be one loan so that I could apply to the SAVE repayment plan. Right as soon as I started and submitted my application was when all of the chaos happened in the courts, where they just can't get their head out of their ass and figure out what they're doing. And so I never actually got into the SAVE plan. And so I have been accruing interest at a 7% rate. I've not had to pay my monthly payment. My monthly payment has been $0 because of a previous tax return when I was making $0 income as a student. But still, this amount is a literal noose around my neck. And I don't think I will ever pay this off. I fear that I will not be able to ever own a home as someone still earning 6 figures salary, let alone children. I would love and aspire to have a child someday, but this really, I don't want to say like makes me suicidal, but like it truly makes it really hard to get out of bed every morning. And I know I'm not alone. I know I don't even have it that bad, but I'm truly asking as a cry for help, like how you compartmentalize the stress of something like this, knowing that you'll never, ever get out of debt, because it would take an act of God to take this amount away. And people repay the principal loan multiple times over in situations like me, but they never get rid of their debt because of the system at hand. And that is what is so fucked about student loans for people in advanced degrees like doctor, nurse, anesthetist, nurse practitioner, physician assistant. What else can I think of? Any degree program that takes multiple loans and at least six figures to take out to go to these programs. And I did this to get a better life for myself, get a salary that actually amounted to something for my future family. And yet this is what happened. And a lot of it wasn't even the fault of my own, because I had no way of predicting that this would happen. I had no way of knowing that SAVE would not be around in the future. PSLF is my only option. I do work at a 501c3, but even then, the payment is like pushing almost $1,000 a month, and that will soon become even unaffordable for me. So yeah, I'm literally at a loss.
All right, now listen, if I had over $100K plus worth of student loan debt that I owed, then I would just keep going to college. I would enroll again. Every single semester, I'd be enrolled. Every semester of my life, I would be in that classroom. Now, is this true? They say if you stay enrolled in college, then you never have to pay that debt back. I heard this was a loophole. Let me know if that still worked in 2025. That's what I'd be doing. I'll be a student for life. That's my only option, I'd feel like, unless I just become a millionaire out of the blue or something like that. I don't know, man. Let me know. Family, if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you for watching, man. This one brought me back to reality. I would have went to community college, if anything. I'm glad I didn't go. Now watching this, I thought I was going to go to the NBA growing up. And a lot of people believed in me and thought I was too, but I'm like, I'm not going to get tall. I'm glad I didn't get tall, because when I didn't make it, if I would have been in debt like this, I would be sick right now, man. I wouldn't know what to do. Appreciate you, family. If you made it to the end of the video, peace. And to my Hebrew family, shalom. I'll catch y'all on the next one.